it's not so private any longer. And it's an awful position for me to be in.
He's in that position because of this man, Jose, a 34-year-old Mexican national, afraid to be identified, but speaking out because he says he was threatened by his powerful ex-lover. And then at some point, you felt... Used? And then threatened?
Yes.
Why threatened?
I got a text from him directly to my phone saying that I will never have business, that my family will be contacted.
The alleged threat to have Jose deported if he went public with the affair.
At no time did I or anyone who represents me ever threaten deportation. Ever.
Babeu stepped down as co-chair of Mitt Romney's campaign in Arizona, but the tough-as-nails sheriff says he's not ending his run for Congress. Jose says he's here legally and wants to get on with his life, but with the story playing a role in presidential politics, that won't be happening anytime soon. Miguel Marquez, CNN, Florence, Arizona.
Let's Paul Babeu. Sheriff, thanks very much for coming in. So first of all, what was the nature of your relationship with this individual?
We had seen each other privately and for some time, close to 3 years, simply in dating. And he had volunteered separately on my campaign in an unpaid status, actually was in control of our website, just a volunteer website for sheriff for my political campaign, and also started a Twitter account and did the social media. And how this all started, Wolf, and I showed you some documents ahead of time, is back in April or May of last year that we turned it over as we were growing our campaign to a paid professional. And he turned all that over. And then 8 months later, he then, because he still had the passwords, took control of that information, started to tweet. People talk about somebody tweeted and they lied about it later. This is the truth. That he tweeted. He also took property not only of all my photographs of our financial donation site, Pyrex, all of that, and started to post very negative things about me, posing it was me. The only communication that my attorney had, because everybody's saying, oh, this deportation. One, he's legal. He has said that. I have said that. And then in addition, this whole thing about deportation, we all know I don't have deportation authority. I have the authority to arrest. There were several crimes committed here against me in my campaign.
Alleged crimes.
Absolutely.
He wasn't convicted of anything.
No. The fact that he has a business and he stole my property and the images purported to be me, so also identity theft in addition to that. All I wanted done is for this to stop. Give me back my property. My lawyer sent one letter to him, and he replied the very next day on September 7th of last year and turned over all the passwords, and it should have been done.
And he said he would comply with the cease and desist letter, and I saw his reply. So what happened? Was this a love affair that went wrong or something, that he got angry at you? Is that, is that what you're saying?
This is the most embarrassing. I've never defined myself by other than my service and my duty and what we should all be judged on in life. And we've all had relationships as clear as day now. Now this is national news that I have had one where he wanted to harm me. And now this is rolled out, and the timing of this is more than coincidence that nationally, that all of this stuff for years, all the media here in Arizona, all 5 TV stations, enemies of mine, people have gone to my chain of command in the military to report that I'm gay, stuff that is my personal private business. And I'm not ashamed of who I am. I've served my country. I've answered thousands of emergency calls as a police officer, life-saving medals. I served as an Army officer in Iraq, commanded 700 soldiers in Yuma. This question, it didn't matter if I was gay. And this is where now they use this allegation, which I showed you proof. There is no proof, not only of any of this, it didn't happen.
He says there were phone calls, there were text messages in which you were supposedly threatening him.
And this is documented as well. I said, how can you think you're going to do business? He had a business with websites. He just stole my websites and put slanderous information on my websites And how can anybody expect to do business? All I wanted because I have lawful authority for arrest. There was no arrest. There was no lawful authority. I did what you and most other citizens would have done, went to an attorney. The attorney handled the matter. I thought it was done. And now, as I'm approaching 5 months into this election, I'm 10 points ahead in the poll over an incumbent member of Congress. And all this stuff comes out.
You're running for the Republican nomination for this congressional seat. Well, explain why you decided to step down as co-chairman of the Romney campaign here in Arizona. If you've done nothing wrong, why did you step down?
One, I didn't want this to splash over on Mitt or any of the other candidates.
What part? The allegations or the fact that you're gay?
This controversy, certainly not that I'm gay. The Romney campaign, and I don't think anybody should have a problem with my personal life and who I am. It doesn't take away from my patriotism or my service. And if you asked any of the candidates that, I don't think that they would disagree with that. And here, I called them and said, look, at this time, I've got a lot to deal with. I'd like to step away from the campaign. They said, Sheriff, that we understand if that's your choice. We appreciate your value and your service. Please don't take this as anything, from our end. And I said, look, I've got enough to deal with, and I do. And to answer this, as this has been trying to get rolled out by numerous political opponents, and now it has under this slanderous, baseless attack. And then all of a sudden, everybody reports it as if it was true from this tabloid. And nobody's verified any of the facts. I showed you evidence. This is the business I'm in. If your next door neighbor called the police on you and said, go and arrest Wolf, do you think I'm just going to come and arrest you? No. I have to find out all the facts. I got to ask questions. This is outrageous that this has been brought out because I'm a conservative Republican. And now they think that somehow there's hypocrisy because I'm gay. I've never worn it on my sleeve like this is who I am. I don't define myself. I don't think we in America, we're different in America, and we celebrate our differences, and we see it as a strength, the beauty of our country, our religion, our freedom of speech, our political views, and even our diversity and orientation. And that's the same liberties, the same freedoms, Wolf, that I put my own personal safety and life on the line to defend for our country and here at home as a police officer and as a sheriff.
You've seen some of these comparisons people are making between you and Congressman Weiner, who was tweeting pictures of himself. There are pictures of you out there as well. What do you say about that?
One, I've never denied it. These were personal pictures that I sent to an individual, and for personal consumption. Absolutely.
Who's dubbed Jose.
And in addition, that I'm a single man. I've never been married. I don't have a fake girlfriend. It's like I was honest. I came out publicly and told the truth completely. And I want to be judged on my record of service, my love of my country, and the fact that my whole life is service. I'm the same sheriff, the same Paul Babeu today as I was last week.
How will the constituents in this congressional district, do you believe, how will they respond to all of this?
Well, we're going to put that in their hands. And this is where I was the first Republican ever elected in my county, countywide, since 1875. And I defeated an incumbent in a landslide election. And this was a whisper campaign before. People would put out stuff, even my political opponents, sending packages to the news media. And all the media has been hands off of this stuff because it shouldn't matter. This is 2012. I should be judged on merit, on my performance, and results. We have one of the best sheriff's office in all of America. We have brought the heaviest hand of enforcement against the drug cartels. Just 3 months ago, we had the largest bust, a narcotics bust against the cartels in the history of our state, $2 to $3 billion. When I was in Yuma, I commanded 700 active duty soldiers and airmen.
Blah, 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 blah,